So I never really know how my AMC videos will be perceived, and so I always emotionally prepare myself to get destroyed in the comment section, especially after I post the video. Sometimes I share it to like AMC Facebook groups or Reddit groups, but in this video I really wanted to talk honestly about what I feel is happening with AMC, my position in AMC, what I've been doing. Because remember, out of all the channels, and there's a lot of huge entertaining channels, very informative when it comes to the AMC movement, but I was pretty much the only one that would actually share my position. I would show that I'm in the 5 figures into AMC. I was doing it because BlackBerry, I'm a huge fan of the company, and I pumped a lot of money into it, and then it rode the AMC squeeze. So I made a lot of profit on the back of the whole AMC rise twice the past year, and at both times I made 5-digit profits. And so I felt like the right thing to do was to take some of those profits, or half the profits, and slide them into AMC and be a part of the movement, because I'm someone that really does believe there should be a level playing field. The naked shorting, the synthetic shares, all of these unethical practices that are done by hedge funds for many years, these are clearly illegal tactics. However, they're not really being monitored, and nobody is really going and enforcing the law, punishing, looking into, diving deep into these hedge funds and seeing if they are engaging in illegal activity. No, it's all swept under the rug. It's whatever, they're hedge funds, they're going to do what they're going to do, and it creates an unfair playing field for the retail investor. I feel the same way about policymakers, about senators and politicians being able to trade as well. These topics I'm passionate about because I really do feel like the odds are stacked against us. I'm someone who spent years and years learning everything I could about fundamental analysis, technical analysis, but still I feel that regardless how much I know, sure, I can tilt the odds in my favor, but never to the same extent as a Nancy Pelosi or as a hedge fund that is doing illegal, unethical, immoral tactics in order to profit off of the stock market. Now, I want to be completely honest as to what I did with my AMC position. So in December, I made a decision to go ahead and sell the entire AMC position for tax purposes. I made really big gains this past year, and I wanted to offset the gains with the losses so that I could lessen the tax burden, so that I could pay less on taxes. And if you know, there's something called a wash sale rule, and that means that if investments are sold at a loss and then repurchased within 30 days, then the loss cannot be claimed for tax purposes. And I went ahead, I sold AMC in the middle of December. It's a little bit under $30. I sold it at a massive loss. It was probably $4,500 down. But I did it, and I can't purchase it again for another 30 days. So I have to wait 31 days in order to do so, because if I go ahead and purchase it before the 31 days, then the loss cannot be claimed for tax purposes, and then I can't offset the gains with the loss. And as I'm following the news and I'm seeing Adam Aron saying he's finished selling the shares after selling over $40 million worth of AMC stock. And so as that news develops, as I'm seeing a lot of the YouTubers that are championing the AMC movement, as they're starting to filter in new content and they're starting to just gravitate away slowly from the whole AMC thing, I see a lot of these YouTubers, they were, apologists for Adam Aron, or they just said, yeah, he's selling, but yada, even though a huge part of why they were in it was because of Adam Aron. This CEO is amazing. He's one of the apes. He's behind us. He's with us. But as he's selling, they're making all these excuses and apologies for it that I'm just thinking, should I reinvest into AMC after my 31 days are up from selling AMC? Because I am starting to feel a little bit differently about things. Now, I released a lot of videos about AMC. I was one of the first ones to put out an AMC video, and the video was about how the AMC movement is different than the GameStop movement because hedge funds are playing both sides. They're going long and they're going short, which can dull the potential MOAS, the mother of all short squeezes. And then after creating about 5 to 6 positive videos covering the AMC movement and how amazing it is that the retail investor went ahead and they were able to drive the price of GME AMC to ridiculous valuations. And they were able to do so because they banded together. Apes are stronger together. There was this whole movement, a lot of excitement. People were learning about stocks. People were learning about shorting, about synthetic shorts. And I love it. I love when movements create education, awareness. And I was really hoping that the SEC would start cracking down on these illegal practices. And so I was all for it. But then about halfway through, about a couple of months ago, I made a video giving my honest thoughts. It was called Squeezing the Truth Out of the AMC Movement. And I covered how I believe that the element of surprise is gone. So as far as the MOAS, the mother of all short squeezes happening, and this going above $1,000, like a lot of YouTubers were saying, I believed that hedge funds, even if they are shorting the bejesus out of this, even if there are all these synthetic shorts, they are hedging their positions somehow. And you can do that with advanced options trading strategies. There's a lot of ways that you can hedge your bets when it comes to something like the standoff that was happening with AMC, with the potential of a short squeeze occurring. And so I just drilled home that argument that the element of surprise is gone. When GME initially spiked up and AMC spiked up, it was a surprise. I think everyone was caught off guard. Even the retail investors might have been surprised. But the hedge funds, for sure, that were shorting it, they didn't think that people can come together, band on Reddit and Facebook groups, talk to one another and say, let's go in on this movement. Let's expose the dirty short selling, the greedy hedge funds, and let's go cripple their profits by driving this to the moon, having them cover, and just creating this awesome short squeeze that's going to be life-changing money for everyone. And so a lot of people went in and it worked. They drove up the price by hundreds of percentage points. But then the movement turned into something else. It turned into a lot of entertainment. So there were a lot of YouTube channels. So Trade Trades, which is entertaining, funny, informative, puts in a lot of work, really made a name for himself, has a huge following. I've seen him on the news. Same thing with Matt Kors. Also, he does a lot of live streams, informative. They've done a lot to grow the AMC community. And kudos to them. Fair play to them. They've done an amazing job. They built a brand. They made a name for themselves. And they also did it by entertaining, bringing people together, and educating them. And while we're talking about YouTubers, I also have to give a shout out to the Masked Investor. There was also the Joey Diaz of the AMC movement, the conspiracy guy, right? That's like, well, these little D's and that little D's, and he's got eyebrow movements and people follow him. He's got a huge following as well, puts out a ton of videos on the daily. Not safe for work. If you want to check him out though, it's Lou v. Wall Street. And there was a lot of these YouTube channels and they were all championing the AMC movement. But it turned away a little bit, I feel, from being a movement in exposing what these greedy hedge funds are doing to just being about when is the MOAS coming, when can I make my profit and leave. And so I created another video and it was called, are you in it for the movement or are you in it for the profit? And when I posted that, I made sure to post it on a lot of Facebook groups that had to do with AMC and a lot of the Reddit groups. And the response I got actually surprised me. I was sure that most people were going to say they're in it for the movement, but it was actually the reverse. I'd say 80 to 85% was we're in it for the profit. Anyone else that says something else is lying. And then the really minority, like 10%, were like, I'm in it for the movement. I want, change. I want new laws. I don't care about making money. I will never sell this thing. I was really surprised to see it. And it made me think that, is this movement fizzling? Did it just become that people are in it and invested in AMC so they could follow these channels, be a part of a community? Everyone wants to be a part of something these days because remember, quarantine, the pandemic, there's a lot of chaos going on. People are indoors still. A lot of families are still scared. And so people are looking for community. And this was something that was bringing people together. Honestly, I feel like a lot of people, they integrated all these AMC videos that were put out daily into their daily routine. It was just a thing that they're doing, that they're following. It's like they made a big bet that the Lakers are going to win the championship at the end of the season. And so what they did is they just started watching all the Lakers games and they started following all the players and the team. It's a lot more interesting to follow things when you have a lot of money at stake and when you're building a community and when you're going and heckling certain things that are against the community, or you are championing certain people because they are jumping on the bandwagon and being for the community. And so I'm going on a little bit of a tangent here, but what I want to say is there's a lot of opportunities this year, too many opportunities, and a lot of exciting ones. I'm going to be making a lot of videos on those. However, AMC, I believe there is still an opportunity that this thing can squeeze. And even if it doesn't have a classic short squeeze, the short percentage of float, which is just under like 20%, still large enough to go ahead with some positive catalysts and bring the price to all-time highs. Me personally, though, I'm just not comfortable right now being 100% sure that after my 31 days are up, that I'm going to go and plow back into AMC. And so the question for you, if you're watching this, if you're passionate about AMC, you'll probably follow it even more than I do. Please tell me, with Adam Aron selling 40 million worth of shares, and then a lot of these YouTubers kind of diversifying into other content. When I go and I take a look at the groups, and I'm a part of a lot of them, when I look at Wall Street Bets groups, when I look at Reddit groups, when I look at AMC stock groups on Facebook, people are turning on one another. They're starting to bash one another. They're forgetting what this movement was all about. Maybe hedge funds did really hedge their bets. Maybe they are playing both sides. Maybe the odds are stacked against us and the element of surprise isn't there anymore. So the question to you is, are you still invested in AMC? What are the reasons you are invested in AMC? And should I, after 31 days, plow back the same amount of shares that I had in the beginning of December again? Or should I go and look at other opportunities? I'm very, very curious on what you guys think. And also, I just want to finish out with this. Please don't just look at your portfolio, your gains and losses, but also look inwards. Make sure that you are not infringing on your happiness. You're not infringing on your relationships at home. That anything you're invested in is only enhancing your life, enhancing your portfolio, and not adding to the daily stress levels, because life is short and you surely don't want to cripple your happiness with investments or putting too much money into something that will make you feel bad. So understand how risk averse you actually are, or how risk tolerant you are, and learn about yourself. Learn as much as you can about stocks, about crypto, about investments, and let's continue to grow our portfolios this year, and let's continue to monitor our happiness, our mental health, our physical health, and I wish lots of love and fulfillment to you all. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section, and I will see you guys in the next video.